Okay, we are live here on YouTube. Gonna get started in just a few minutes here. Hope you had a great week one. Of the NFL season. Just I'm putting my title. Week one review, which we call it. Week two picks. There we go. Okay. Did this last year where we went over my week one picks. Reviewed my lineups. I got some lineups in for tonight. Let's talk DFS. That's what we do here now. It's fun. Love DFS. Love the daily fantasy. Hope you do too. You can find me on Twitter at the Radio Mike. For those who don't know what I do full time, I'm actually a baseball broadcaster and work for the Woo Sox, Worcester, Mass, and work for Framingham State. So let's get some Twitter people following us as well. I know I have to get the dual screens. I don't have the dual screens yet. I will. I promise. I will get those at some point. But you can see everything I'm doing live. Isn't this great? Let's talk DFS. All right. So I could not wait to play week one. Now I had to work. I had baseball going on Sunday, so it wasn't easy getting everything together. But I was on the right stacks, which I'm proud of. Cash game blue chunks. So my cash game. So I played a lot of head-to-heads. I'm playing small 50-50s on DraftKings because DraftKings is becoming a joke with multiple lineups. Last year when I was doing 100-man 50-50s, I think one time there was 26 multiple lineups, and it's coming from Establish the Run. And so if you follow Levitan, great. I think he's great, but all of his followers have this. This was his lineup, 124.86. I think his optimal lineup. So I try to avoid playing in leagues where this is going to happen because a lot of these lineups are good. Credit to them. But I want to avoid playing with duplicate lineups. So yeah, my cash game just was terrible. My thought process was load up the running backs, which worked. I know this is like a common strategy that they preach you to do, but I have found it to not work lately. And I might actually change what I do and go to more stacks in cash games because this was a little stack, Murray to Hopkins, and even with some chalkier players, he basically won this cash game with 3 players. I liked having McCaffrey. Well, Robinson was not a good play, obviously. And Kamara should have maybe even spent up more. But I liked Johnson. I like the Moors. Last time I take anyone from the Jets, I should know better. And Tannehill just wasn't good there. I kind of had a game stack right there of Tennessee. So then on my tournament lineup, I was on the right stack. I just didn't have enough around it. This was the easiest play to me for a GPP stack. That's what we're talking about, tournaments. This is how I do tournaments. 2 pass catchers you've got to, and run it back with a player. I ran it back with Hooper. That was not the right one. And I wanted to run it back with Hunt. If you look at the winning lineup here, and this one was a little bit different. Cousins was the winner. This is a single entry. A lot of the multi-entries were Mahomes, Hill to Kelsey. But I just didn't have enough with, Jones was not a good play. So that was my tournament lineup. FanDuel, I was excited about. I had a good week in FanDuel. This was my tournament, my millionaire lineup. Was on the right stack. Mahomes, Hill. He didn't have triple, but I still could have won this. It's my goal is to win this $1 million. I'll tell you what, I've been a couple players. Last year I took Dalvin Cook out of my lineup last minute, and had I put him in, I think I would have been in the maybe here 10, which I'll take. But this is a well-constructed lineup here. Mixon at home was cheap. But, when Hill ran it back with Hooper, didn't work. Atlanta's defense didn't work. Cheap defense worked, though, this week. They usually do in tournaments. That game sucked. I had another game stack of Edmonds and A.J. Brown, which didn't work. You could see here he went with a stack, no run back, but had another game stack of Detroit and San Francisco. Did 2-1 there, kind of to be different. So that was my tournament lineup, which I liked. And then my cash game lineup right here. I have more cash games, and I can run you through my process. Heavy at running back. Went Mixon in my cash game. Like Tannehill. Like Logan Thomas. Carolina at home. Thought Ridley would be better. But that was good enough. I mean, that score, 114, 34th. All you have to do is top 50. This is definitely kind of a hybrid tournament lineup because it's a stack. You don't usually stack in cash games. That's a good lineup. So, also, I like Prize Picks. This is something I've joined right now. Go to prizepicks.com. Put my first $25 in. Hit on a $20. Hit $40. Devontae Parker over 3.5 receptions. Mahomes, this was a bonus for signing up. You only had to go over a half yard. My picks for tonight, I've got Sterling Shepard over 12.5 fantasy points and Diami Brown over 30.5 receiving yards. All right, quick look at week 2. Show you some of the players that I like for week 2. I just think you have to plug him in. We're talking cash games first. I mean, you have to. I mean, he's 9,900. He's still underpriced. He brings number one rusher, number one receiver. Look at that. 9 receptions. I don't care who he's playing. He's home. He's going to be in that vicinity. Again, you got to start your cash games with Christian McCaffrey. It's an automatic. Okay? I think there's some value on the slate with running backs, but you want to get running backs that you're going to get 20 touches probably. I like running backs at home, but don't shy away from good value. And, keep your eye on this San Francisco situation because Trey Sermon, look at, he's part of as of a few days ago. So he's going to be Eli Mitchell, will be very chalky in cash games. But, I think you can go right here, start your build with those two. And then in cash games, I always go 3 running backs. I like home running backs. Nick Chubb's in a huge favored situation. I think you go there. I think you go with Harris, who played every snap last week. I know he didn't have a great game, but I could care less. I kind of like something like this. Tight end, Noah Fant to me, too many targets, too cheap still. I like plugging in a home defense, preferably cheap. What do we like here? Maybe Arizona. They had a good week last week. Could get a pick 6 off Cousins, and then just kind of fill it in. With receivers, you want heavy target volume. I think this guy cash game. I mean, I think there's still some mispriced cash game players. Nelson Aguilar, yeah, that's a low-scoring game, potentially. I kind of like the high-scoring games. Marvin Jones, 9 targets, priced at $4,700. He's going to be chalky. And there's a lot of guys here, down low that you can look at. I still like to have a guaranteed guy too. But I think, to get in a decent quarterback, you need to go a little bit low. Would I go here? Probably not. I want targets for my receivers. I want to see how Rondell Moore is. Even at 4,000, 5 targets. I think he's going to be good. Do you go even cheaper here? You might not have to. Some of these guys that had good weeks, take it for a grain of salt. You want targets. Targets, and cash games. That's what you're buying, basically. You're buying opportunities. Zach Pasquale against the Rams. I don't like the targets. 5 targets. He had 4 catches. He scored 2 touchdowns. Tim Patrick, he's going to be in for Judy. He's going to be very chalky, but that's fine. I might go Marvin Jones here. 9 targets. Quarterback. Maybe Mac Jones this week. But opportunities. You want who's going to be throwing a lot. A lot of these quarterbacks are going to be throwing a lot this week. I don't pay up for quarterbacks and cash games. Do like to have somebody with a rushing upside as well. Even Tyrod Taylor. They're going to be trailing. Might not be bad. Let's see if we plugged in Rondell Moore. And then you get 7,500 to maybe get a stud running back. I don't know if why not? You build something like that for a cash game. Similar on FanDuel. FanDuel always seems easier to build lineups. I don't know why. It just does. So McCaffrey. Go Harris. Harris is priced up a little bit here. Carson at home. But I just think I'll eat the chalk here with Mitchell. 5,800. Plug in my defense. I actually do like Arizona again because I'm looking for pick sixes. 4,400 is not bad. Noah Fant. Yeah, see, it seems easier to build cash game lineups here. I don't like to go up to the top with quarterbacks. Herbert. See Rondell Moore on here. And then you got a lot of money. Then you get 7,700 to play with. And try to get those high total games. That's what you're looking for. So you maybe run it back with a Dallas player and Lamb. Boy, 8,700. Take Hopkins, put Hopkins in. And a 5,100. Maybe throw that in. That's not a bad cash game lineup. All right. That's my week 1 review lineup. That's my week 2 preview. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.